All right, man. Let's talk about JB Bickerstaff. Um, uh, the Cavaliers on the brink of getting eliminated from the playoffs. Last year, a lot of it was, really, being blamed on him last year. I mean, I think it was a shocker to everybody when he got, fired. That happened to Dwayne Casey, coach of the year, fired, joined the Pistons. Um, and I see some Cleveland Cavaliers vloggers still kind of like blaming him, but they have an issue that can't be fixed. Um, and I'm explaining the issue and why Cleveland won't win. I could have told you, I said Pacers in 5 to begin with. So this is an easy series. NBA fans defend head coach, the Pistons head coach after Cavaliers blowout losses, probably pertaining to the award. It says after failing to make the Eastern Conference Finals last year, the Cleveland Cavaliers made a coaching change. JB Bickerstaff parted ways. The organization quickly landed back on his feet as he took over from Monty Williams and the Pistons. The Cavaliers replaced Bickerstaff with Kenny Atkinson, who went to Ohio after spending time working with Steve Kerr on the Golden State Warriors. All season long, Bickerstaff's former team found plenty of success without him. At the end of the regular season, the Cavaliers finished 64-18. They locked up the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. First round matchup against Atlanta was no sweat for the Cavs. Cleveland advanced with a clean sweep. When the Cavs hired Atkinson, they hoped he would help them get beyond round 2, where Bickerstaff struggled recently. At this point, the Indiana Pacers are giving them a hard time. As a result, NBA fans are defending Bickerstaff on social media. Maybe when your coach treats you like you haven't arrived, maybe you haven't actually arrived. JB Bickerstaff is probably watching this game with his feet kicked up. I guess that's pertaining to Donovan Mitchell. Laugh out loud. Bickerstaff 30, staff 32. That's a fake account. Laugh out loud. No comment. They gave Atkinson coach of the year, and he's down 40, while JB tripled his wins and made the playoffs with the team's worst team in the league, and took a contender to 6 games. Going into the, fans are going to talk their stuff. Cavs Nation tried to scapegoat Mr. Bickerstaff for their shortcomings every year. I know Coach of the Year's regular season award, but that mother effer might still age horrible for the Cavs. But they get booted by the Pacers. We saw Bickerstaff keep the Pistons competitive all series. Not one blowout despite the injuries. Can't say the same for the Cavs. Shout out to Easy. Atkinson getting head coach of the year over JB Bickerstaff looks even worse right now. And obviously that's a hindsight. It's a regular season award, the whole 9. But I like Kenny Atkinson. He was probably one of my top choices for the job for the Pistons. But this has worked out pretty well, for this has worked out really well for the Cavs so far, and it's worked out well for the Pistons, but regular season wise, but at the end of the day, I just see some things that can't be fixed. Donovan Mitchell is too ball dominant. You're not going to win a championship with him dominating the ball. He's questionable for game 5. So not only is, he ball dominant, but he's not durable. You can't depend on him to carry the load. The backcourt too small. The backcourt too small. And they just play, they don't play a unified brand of basketball. They brand of basketball is not unified. It's not we gonna work together. It's okay, you gonna dribble the ball and do your thing. I'm gonna dribble the ball and do my thing. It's not an offense. That's one of the things that worried me about when Bickerstaff got here. He said that they may stagger Ivy and K minutes and depending that, but he made it all work. He implemented a offense where the ball moved and then stick in somebody's hand. And in Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell, I don't think that was possible. I don't think that was possible. The ball has to stay in Donovan Mitchell's hands, for Donovan Mitchell to be effective. And when the ball got to go through his hands and he's naturally not a true point guard, he's not a real facilitator, and he's just a scorer, then, that becomes a problem. So, what Bickerstaff was able to do with the Detroit Pistons and get an offense where the ball is moving and everybody is cutting, it's not just sticking in one person's hand, I think that would have benefited Cleveland. Kenny Atkinson is a coach that's pretty much known for being an defensive head coach. And my issue here with Cleveland is they play too much of an ISO brand basketball. It's not cohesive. It's not even like, okay, we're going to run the offense through Evan Mobley and we're going to play out. No, it's running the offense through Donovan Mitchell. You ain't going to championship like that. If they move the ball and everybody cut and move and they get Mitchell catching and shooting off the move, they may have a real chance of doing something, but with the ball is sticking in one person's hand, like it's sticking in Mitchell Henry just not gonna win that way. Everybody has to be involved. Everybody has to be cutting and all that. And then their backcourt already undersized. Same thing happened last year in Orlando. They had some injuries and they blamed Bickerstaff. But it boiled down to it is Donovan Mitchell didn't like JB Bickerstaff, but I think he resigned after that. He didn't like him because he was trying to take the ball out of his hands and show him he not gonna win that. When even he scored 40 every game, you're not gonna win a championship like that, bro. The ball gotta move. The ball cannot stick like that. Sorry to register in his brain. He really think they gonna win the ball with Donovan Mitchell being your best player with the ball in his hand all that time. It's just not gonna happen. And that's what he tried to do. Excuse me. He tried to take the ball out of Mitchell's hand, and they tried to get that ball moving. Him, Mitchell, and Garland, it don't make no sense. That's another thing. It's a defensive liability in the backcourt, right? It's a defensive liability in the backcourt. So why not just trade Darius Garland if you're gonna let Mitchell be the primary ball handler and do everything? Trade him for a 3-and-D type guy, a catch and shoot, a guy that can defend his position and save the money. You ain't getting the most out of Garland. You're really not. You shortening your guys. You shortchanging them. You know, Kenny Atkinson ain't known to be an offensive wizard neither. I remember in Brooklyn, he was letting them do what the hell they wanted to do. They was out there jacking up 3s, 4s, 5s. D'Angelo Russell had the green light like a mug. So, that's just my humble opinion on it. But yeah, JB Bickerstaff was trying to show them, but they ain't want to believe. So, that is what it is, man. Let me know what y'all think, man, in the comment section. Hit the link in the first link in the description, the link tree. You can find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Everywhere else I'm creating that. You got Detroit Pistons to our playlist. I would love to hear you guys' opinion on everything, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. Appreciate y'all. Peace.